Oh shit. Here we go again.
Jason Kelce, man. Fucking legend. Absolute fucking legend. Shirt off, fucking screaming, fucking chugging beers with the fans and shit, man. That's what it's about. Being a man of the people. And this is kind of a side tangent, but hey, we've got some time here. We don't have as many games to talk about. We can kind of riff.
Yeah.
The dichotomy between, if you don't like Taylor Swift, but you're okay with Jason Kelce, but then you just hate women. I think, no, that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
This is what I told Kaylee because we had this conversation. I said, football fans are very territorial. We don't like outsiders coming in. If you're not one of us, like, we don't want you coming in and trying to steal the spotlight and make it about something that it's not. And I feel like, and it's not even Taylor Swift's fault. You know, it's the media that has been pushing this narrative. You know, Taylor Swift probably doesn't even want the attention. Well, she probably does. She probably loves it. But it is all NFL media trying to have this partnership, you know, Swifties, NFL, let's come together and have this partnership, which I get it. It grows the brand, and then that's marketing. But it rubs some people the wrong way, especially some of these diehard football fans that don't like people coming in and trying to steal the show. And what that has to do with Jason Kelce is he's a football guy. I mean, you know, that family is now like immortalized in football lore. We're always going to talk about the Kelce brothers long after they're done playing.
And we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode of Real Conversations with Cozy and Murph. I am one half of this dynamic duo. I'm here alongside my partner, Cody Murphy. And today, we're speaking in sadness. Why are we speaking in sadness? There's only 3 games left in the NFL. You could say 4 because of the All-Pro game, but I'm not going to count that.
We don't count that.
We only have 3 games left, and it is at the forefront of everybody's mind. So we're going to dive right into it and talk this past weekend divisional round. We had some matchups. We had some blowouts. But let's just jump right in it. Talk Texans, Ravens, Lamar Jackson, Ravens, second half. That defense showed out. Roquan Smith looks like the greatest addition the Baltimore Ravens could have. Fortunately, the C.J. Stroud Texans ran out of steam, but I feel like everybody saw it coming because the Ravens have been on a streak unlike anything before. So, I mean, what was your largest takeaway of this game? Just Lamar Jackson being too damn good?
Lamar played good.
Yeah.
I don't think he played great, though. I mean, I think he could play a lot better. That's the scary thing.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it was tied up at 10 at halftime. It looked like, you know, the Texans were going to be able to hang around and maybe make a move at the end to try to win. But no, Ravens came out second half and completely shut the Texans offense down. 0 points in the second half. Wasn't even really close, honestly, to scoring. And I think it's just a testament to the greatness of the Ravens. I mean, they've been a absolute fucking well-oiled machine, top to bottom, and week in and week out since week 1. Even the preseason, you know. I mean, it's because Harbaugh he's a Harbaugh, you know. He's going to fucking have his squad ready to go every week, no matter what. And it doesn't matter who's hurt, who's in the lineup, no matter what, they're ready to go. And I think it just speaks to the Ravens' longevity. You know, it's just year in and year out since they've had John Harbaugh at the coaching head coach position. They've just been an absolute unit, you know. So good on them. I think definitely the Roquan Smith acquisition is one of the better kind of flies under the radar because he's a defensive guy. But I mean, he has been a really, really solid addition to that already, to a defense that was already good to begin with.
Yeah. They were definitely impressive. It was going into halftime, Texans making everybody believe because it seemed like, they found a little bit of spark with that punt return, but it's just suffocating defense. And, I listened to Pat McAfee and listen to Darius Butler do a breakdown of the defensive schemes, and he put the Michigan defense and the Ravens defense side by side, and
It's
they were
identical.
identical. And it's just like them Harbaugh boys have figured out a scheme that is, untouchable. They have pressure on the quarterback at all times, and I mean they have the key pieces. They went out and did
Right.
exactly what they needed to do. They got
It
the right
helps
guys.
when you got studs at every
Yep.
level.
Yep.
I like that number 14. I can't think of his name for the Ravens. Hamilton, I think is his last name.
I was about to talk about Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah, Kyle Hamilton, man. I was watching that game and I said, that is the future of NFL defense, because if you look at it just the last 5-10 years, everybody's trending towards that type of build as far as, athletically. They have to be light enough and quick enough to cover, but they also have to be able to fill gaps as well. So in the run game. So outside of the interior defensive linemen, everybody's like thinning out and just built for speed. And I think that's the way defenses are trending now in the modern game.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I was about to say, when the draft happened, people were like, "Oh my God, they took Kyle Hamilton from Notre Dame," and everybody was, shitting on the pick. But there was definitely a vision there that Harbaugh had in mind going into it, and it played out perfectly. The dude's dog covers he makes coverage plays, he makes tackles. So I think the Ravens, I think they're the juggernaut as has been shown. And their only thing that could be, a potential downfall for them is a bad Lamar game, which I don't even know exists.
I don't see that
anymore.
happening.
I don't even know if it is a thing, because even if he's off with his arm, he did this game. Every time there was a serious situation and they needed a first down, they needed a big play, he booted out, scooted, and found his way for a 10, 15, 30-yard run, and it was absolutely incredible. I still think the Texans played well. They were just obviously outmanned and outmatched.
Yeah, they were in over their head, and nobody expected them to make it this far anyway. So, good on the Texans, man. A great season. You can't, nothing to hang your head about, man. CJ Stroud looked, he actually looked human in that game, I will say. Yeah. But, I mean, everybody comes down to back to earth eventually. But they're going to be one to watch out for. Definitely one to watch out for sure.
Yeah.
Last thing on the Ravens, and this is kind of, I guess I'm just glazing the Harbaugh twins, but or brothers. Are they twins?
Twins, brother. Now they're brothers, but might as well be twins.
They look exactly like, but they have, like you said, they have it figured out down to a science. They don't make a move that is not calculated down to the very last decimal, and they don't play into media hype. Their teams are always buttoned up, and yes, they do have kind of a grating personality. They can wear you down sometimes, but that's only because they want to be great. And so, LA, they just announced that Jim Harbaugh to the Chargers. I think that's an absolute fucking key hiring. I think that's going to work out great for Justin Herbert and that organization. But yeah, man, it's just it's awesome to see what Baltimore has built.
Yeah. Man, Harbaugh going to the Chargers. That AFC is going to be loaded with nuts. Aaron Rodgers, Burrow coming back next year, Herbert revived career. This thing, it's about to get intense. Josh Allen's still there, Mahomes still there, Lamar Jackson's there. It's like this is
Burrow.
The
Did
NFL.
You say Burrow?
Yeah, Burrow, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, we're about to see some matchups, some duels next year. Football's going to be fun. Pray to God, everybody stays healthy, but you can't look for that. But good on the Texans, good season. Ravens, this is the chance. Everybody said Lamar couldn't win the big one, so the big one's this weekend. We'll get to that when we do the look ahead. How about we talk Packers, 49ers? Packers fall 21-24 behind Christian McCaffrey's 2 touchdowns and Jordan Love at the end there just fell short. He just fell short, unfortunately. I still think he played a good game. I think, his
Yeah.
team has come together. I think the Packers are in prime position for too long now. I mean, the same conversation we had last week. He
Yeah.
looked good.
They
49ers, though, I have my question marks without Debo.
Yes, that is that's one of the like the 49ers, you look at them, we gloat, we glaze them every week. They've been really good, just like the Ravens. They've been really good all year. But it's kind of like bewildering to me how they can lose one guy and like it completely falls apart. Even though they have several key playmakers. It's like Debo out, Trent Williams out. They're not the same team. And
Nope.
I think Purdy is really going through some growing pains right now. He's really he's seeing what big boy football is all about, what this high level, playoff football is all about. I think for a long time he kind of rode the coattails of Shanahan in that offense. And now he's having to make plays, and and to his credit, he is making the plays. You can't take that away from him. There was like 2 or 3 throws in that game that was like, how did he get that ball in there? Because it was just perfectly just drop it, in a bucket,
In a bucket.
And the 49ers did enough to win. You would have figured they would have won a little bit more convincingly. So we do have some questions, like you said, we have some questions moving forward in the next week. But the Packers gave them all they wanted. The Packers, youngest team in the league. I think they found their future in Jordan Love.
Yeah.
I think Matt LaFleur does a really good job of tailoring the offense to Jordan Love's skill set, which is basically Aaron Rodgers 2.0. Aaron Rodgers with a little bit of color. And so, I think they have to really shore up that defense, though. That's what concerns me with Green Bay. But I know though, pardon my take, guys, Big Cat, he's really salty about the Green Bay situation because he's a Bears fan, and it seems like they just picked the perfect quarterback, generation after generation, and then the Bears have not had a quarterback worth their salt since fucking the Super Bowl run in '85. So it's a bright future for Green Bay. I think they're another team to watch out for next year alongside the Texans, another young up-and-coming team that just, they're going to take their lumps, but they're going to find their way. Yeah. They'll probably win the division next year. Detroit, yes, but I think the Packers are one to look out for NFC North next year.
Yeah, I definitely can see it to where the Lions and Packers are going to be, the race for the top.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, there was some games this year where the Lions, pulled out strong victories. And granted, I still think they're going to be good. They have a young team. We're going to get to the Lions, but the Packers, man, they have built up, all the things that Aaron Rodgers said in the past about them not building a team around him, not going out doing the right pieces. It turns to this point now where it kind of makes him look like an ass. Because these are the same guys that he had, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, a lot of the guys that he had followed him to New York.
His guys, he even had Devontae Adams, Alan Lazard. You know what I'm saying? He had guys.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not like Green Bay's front office wasn't willing to work with him. I feel like a lot of these athletes nowadays get on this power trip, and they're like, well, if you're not going to do exactly what I want, I'll just go play somewhere else. Yeah. And that's just, it kind of goes hand in hand with the going back to college and the NIL and transfer portal. It's autonomy. It's, you have control over your future. And at the end of the day, I think that's a good thing. But I think sometimes it can go to some of these athletes' heads that, maybe they think the grass is greener on the other side, and then they get there and it's not what, it's better in Green Bay, so. Yeah. As far as the Niners go, I think the big story is Purdy. I think they're going to go as Purdy goes. And, you saw it last year in the playoffs. Purdy got hurt, and they were in complete shambles. As long as he can stay healthy, I think, and make it just – he really has to make some amazing plays sometimes. Like I said, he does make the plays, but – all it takes is 2 or 3 plays to go a different way, and we're talking Green Bay winning that game. So, it was a good game though. I'm glad that pretty much all these games outside of the Ravens game was down to the wire.
Yeah.
So
Here's my, I guess, ultimate question for the 49ers, because I think it's semi-realistic. If they do lose this next game, even though it's against a tough Lions team, with all the stuff that is surrounding Brock Purdy and the media hate that he's getting, do the 49ers start eyeballing free agent
no,
quarterbacks?
no, I
You're
don't
gonna have
think
to
so.
pay Purdy a
But
boatload of money.
you don't have to pay him for at least 2 more years, right? He's only second year.
Yeah.
I don't know what his contract specifics are, but I think they can put off paying him for at least another year. So, really, the question is really about the defense. Like, what's going on with the defense? The defense was lights out there for a while, but I feel like they're so inconsistent. They might give up, 21 in one game, and then might only give up, one touchdown the next game. So
yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
I don't know what's going on in there. Somebody's upset.
Things happen. That's the life of being a father, ladies and gentlemen. If you do not have kids and you listen to our show, just a reminder that this is what you can get. This is the upside.
Definitely. I mean,
I'm talking to you, Kayla.
Another one on the way, baby. Hey.
Two of them. Nah, there ain't nothing wrong with that. That's life. We're everyday people. We literally are just like everybody else. We're just people who talk into a microphone and play pretend like we're the big shit.
Like we know something. Yeah.
Like we know something about something. The other day, I'm in my mom's basement at the moment, and you're in your house with your family in the other room. So for people who say, hey, we can't relate with you guys, so we're not going to listen. Yeah, well, we're probably just like your boyfriend, your husband, and we're probably your best friend if you just don't even know it yet. So it is what it is. Let's talk these Buccaneers-Lions game. Buccaneers 23, Lions 31. Jared Goff throws 2 touchdowns, and the Lions advance to the NFC title game. It's been a while since the Lions been good, and this is a hell of a run to put together, buddy.
Yep.
Jared
Super.
Goff.
I mean, they've morphed into America's team. Everybody's rooting for Detroit right now, and man, they had the intro on the game, and it had Detroit. It said Detroit versus everybody, and man, that's really how it feels. It really does feel like it's Detroit versus the world. I mean, even though we're all rooting for them, so they're up against it this week. The 49ers, they played great though. I mean, Buccaneers were clawing back and fighting back at every point in the game. You can't hang your head about that performance, Baker. I mean, you went dummy for the last. Like I said, I can't remember who I was talking to. I made that post about Todd Bowles. Man, Todd Bowles is terrible coach. It's just awful. He was awful with New York Jets. He's been awful the last couple of years here at Tampa Bay. He's a better defensive coordinator. He doesn't need to be making decisions. He needs to be coaching the defense. That's what he needs to be doing. And so even though they've won the division the last couple of years, that division is garbage anyway. And Baker Mayfield drugged them to the playoffs. Absolutely drug them to the playoffs.
Yep.
So I think Todd Bowles is on his way out. I think, even though they made the playoffs and made it to the divisional round, I think you got to think about making some changes if you're Tampa Bay.
Yeah. I think that's one of the key points that I wanted to bring up. Like, obviously, huge congratulations to the Lions. You have a huge matchup coming up, kind of set yourself in stone, set yourself in history. But, I mean, Baker throws for 350 yards. He did have a dummy play at the end. But I still think it could have been more like a better performance on from coaching decision standpoint. Like they were only out of this game 8 points.
Well, they had the Lions messed up at the end because Goff snapped it early, and there was still time on the clock, and they could have called a timeout and got the ball back with 30 seconds. And a prayer. I mean, at the very least, a Hail Mary to the end zone, and Bowles just decides, fuck it, we don't want it.
We'll send it in.
Yeah.
I seen a thing though that apparently Todd Bowles and Dan Campbell go way back, and it was more of like a tip of the cap respect thing. But still,
But
if I
still, fuck that.
if I respect the guy, I'm giving him my best. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Like you're getting
I'm
my
not
all. I'm not stepping
right.
back. I'm coming at you, bro. I want you to beat the best.
I am pulling all the tricks out of the hat.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. Like I'm playing my boy. He gonna make sure I'm in my bag because I'm not playing around.
and
But I still think Baker and the Buccaneers, they came out looking. I mean, Baker has secured a contract.
oh yeah,
If he
he's
doesn't want to come back to the
the future
Buccaneers, he can go
there.
wherever. Yeah, I think if he wants to, I mean, obviously this team is rallied around him. But if he doesn't want to play under Todd Bowles anymore, he could go into the free agent market and be a top candidate quarterback.
Yes, Minnesota. You know,
Yep.
they would probably like him up there in Minnesota. There's several teams that would I mean, Las Vegas. You know, I mean, there's several teams that would be a good fit for Baker. So he has earned his stripes. You know, from his fall of grace. You know, from coming in first rounder, starting Browns quarterback, then getting cut, released, going bouncing around a little bit, Carolina, L.A. And now he's here at Tampa Bay. I think he's found a home. I think his chemistry with Evans is really worth holding on to. You know, as long as they can keep Evans happy, which I don't know what his contract situation is, but that man is a beast. He's he reminds me a lot of Megatron, just as not as physical.
Yeah.
But can still go and get it.
Man, Mike Evans, he's for sure a Hall of Famer. I would
100%.
definitely say, yeah. Well, good on the Lions. Good on the Buccaneers making a run. You beat a downfall Eagles team and then put up a fight against, probably the most dynamic offense in all of football. So I'll give the tip of the cap to the Buccaneers. Lions, you got a hell of a matchup coming up, but we will get to that. The last game from this past weekend was the game that everybody tuned in for. I feel like it was the Chiefs going into Buffalo to play the Bills. And what a heartbreak for the Bills. They had a chance there at the end. Josh Allen played his ass off. I'll give him that. Travis Kelce had his revival, 2 touchdowns. But Tyler Bass didn't do the one job he was there for, which I want to talk kickers when we get there. He missed the kick, and the Chiefs, 6 straight from Mahomes going to the
this game. I mean, that is just fucking ridiculous. I mean, haven't seen it since Brady. I think Brady had 8 straight AFC championships, so he's 2 off the record. I think he could probably get it, man, if he keeps just staying consistent as he is. But man, this game is on Sean McDermott.
Yep.
What the fuck are you doing? Calling a fake punt for a player who hasn't played all fucking year.
Yep.
And like what on your own 30 in a playoff game. If you're going to do that, you might as well have the punter run it or pass it, because I mean, DeMar I don't know what is that? What was he thinking in that moment? Like, I know everybody's heard the joke. He thought it was a Disney movie, which it's played out now, but this is on McDermott. And I think you have to start asking some questions about McDermott. The way this year went, I know they made it to the divisional round, but at some point that's not good enough.
Yeah.
At some point you've been on the precipice for how many years now? For several years. And you just can't seem to get over the hump against Mahomes. And so, I think you really have to start thinking about I don't think they fire him. Obviously he's going to get another year, but if he comes out next year and they start out, 6-6 or whatever, that's not going to look pretty in Buffalo.
Yeah. I think for Sean McDermott, it goes kind of like, how many years in a row do you just fall short and then continue to keep your job? Like this is this. I said it last week. This is the Bills' Super Bowl. Every year they're playing in the Super Bowl prior to the Super Bowl, and if you look at it like that, they've lost every one under Sean McDermott, and I think Josh Allen played well enough to win this game. Yeah, granted,
absolutely.
At the end of the game, a couple of them shots that he took, I saw what he was trying to do, and it's the same thing that Josh Allen does. That's where your coach steps in and says, I don't care if this guy's open. you get the first down. You don't throw the touchdown
The
ball.
bomb. Yeah, I
I
think
get what you were trying to do.
he gets trigger happy. He just wants to throw
Yeah.
the bomb.
Yeah.
And I know we seen the graphic of Diggs coming open across the middle on that play where he went deep to I think it was Shakir in the end zone. But I mean, you can't. I mean, nobody's perfect. Even Patrick Mahomes had some bad plays in this game. So Josh Allen definitely played well enough to win. I don't think there's as much blame to go. I know, like, there's been a lot of criticism. I've been part of that noise, but definitely this week he played well enough to win. He deserves it. I think he's an elite quarterback. Any way you look at it, turnovers, no turnovers, whatever. He's going to keep you in the game no matter what. You're always going to have a chance as long as you have Allen back there throwing the ball. But Stephon Diggs has got to catch that one, God. Man. It was like, I know it was probably a tough catch over the shoulder, opposite to the boundary. That's a tough catch to make, but you're supposed to be, a top 5 receiver, in your mind, and everybody else in Buffalo, you're supposed to be this elite guy, and elite guys make that catch. So receivers could have played a little bit better. It was a great game though. Fucking Chiefs do what they do. This is the way they've played all year, though. They don't play, flashy, glamorous football. They do some wonky things on offense to kind of throw. I feel like it messes with the defense a little bit. And, I mean, you've got the X factor. Mahomes, he's always going to keep, he's just like Allen. He's always going to keep you in the game no matter what. So, Chiefs have been here. The road, they go to Baltimore next week. I think they're going to be a real test for them. But it wouldn't surprise me if they win. I mean, honestly, at this point, nothing surprises me with the Chiefs.
Nothing
I think the real story of the game for me, well, obviously, this is just kind of like a side plot. Jason Kelce, man. Fucking legend. Absolute fucking legend. Shirt off, fucking screaming, fucking chugging beers with the fans and shit, man. That's what it's about. Being a man of the people. And this is kind of a side tangent, but hey, we've got some time here. We don't have as many games to talk about. We can kind of riff.
Yeah.
The dichotomy between, if you don't like Taylor Swift, but you're okay with Jason Kelce, but then you just hate women. Like, no, that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
This is what I told Kaylee because we had this conversation. I said, football fans are very territorial. We don't like outsiders coming in. If you're not one of us, we don't want you coming in and trying to steal the spotlight and make it about something that it's not. And I feel like, and it's not even Taylor Swift's fault. It's the media that has been pushing this narrative. Taylor Swift probably doesn't even want the attention. But she probably does. She probably loves it. But it is all NFL media trying to have this partnership, Swifties, NFL, let's come together and have this partnership, which I get it. It grows the brand, and then that's marketing, but it rubs some people the wrong way, especially some of these diehard football fans that don't like people coming in and trying to steal the show. And what that has to do with Jason Kelce is he's a football guy. I mean, that family is now immortalized in football lore. We're always going to talk about the Kelce brothers long after they're done playing. Yeah. So it's kind of comparing apples to oranges in my view.
I definitely agree. I think this was a chance for, and if anybody didn't see it, Jason Kelce, he's up in the suite, the same box as Kelce and our Mama Kelce and Taylor Swift and the whole gang, but he's enjoying himself, and he's played every week for the past 17 years. This is an opportunity for him to actually be a fan, and right. I think it's a reminder to the people that these guys are just humans. At the end of the day, they're people. They're just athletic freaks. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but granted, they still have emotions, feelings, and he was just trying to enjoy himself at his brother's game. Yeah, he was being a big brother. He was out there with the Bills fans having a good time. I thought it was awesome, obviously, as a huge Kelce guy. I'm standing there like, you got that. That's how I want to be. That's how I would be if my brother was playing. Get into the AFC Championship game. I'd be shirtless, ripping beers, having a good time.
Talk about that box though. You've got Brittany Mahomes, Taylor Swift, Mama Kelce, Jason Kelce, and you got Pat Mahomes Sr. Did you see
Yeah.
him? Pat Mahomes'
Yeah.
dad? So, I mean, that's a hell of a box to be in right there.
Man, I'd like to be a fly on the wall in there.
Yeah, me too.
I want to hear drunk Travis Kelce or drunk Jason Kelce talking to Taylor Swift like the drunkest person he's probably ever seen or she's ever seen. I just want to be there and just witness
Well,
it.
I don't know if this is true, but apparently that was the first time he had ever met her, and so he wanted to make an impression. Like, welcome to the family.
Big brother shit.
What we do, baby.
Big brother shit. He's like, if he Travis been lying, saying weird, civilized people, let lying fuck. Look at him out there.
We're just beer drinkers from Ohio that are kind of good at football, you know.
Oh my god, fuck. Damn, Chiefs win again. It's a bitch, but it is the respect you have to show to greatness. Fortunately, it is Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs and their annoying ass fans. Sorry to the Buffalo Bills. Tyler Bass, keep your head straight. Don't go doing nothing crazy. See you deleted all your social media. Obviously, people are going to be mad at you for a while. It'll be all right. You'll get another job like Cody Parkey.
I feel so bad for the Bills franchise, just the fans. I feel so bad for them. But hey, you know, my team's not great either, so.
Yeah, it happens. At least you are every year have the idea of hope. I know it sucks, and you don't have any draft capital. Really, it's like you guys are getting a bottom 5 first round pick, every year. But
yeah.
You're there. You're in it. You were in it all the way till the last minute of the game. Like you were that
really
close.
It should have went to overtime, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, the Bills win this game if Diggs catches that ball.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I think that's like you said, he has to catch that ball. He is the guy all season. It's been chirping about him and getting touches and targets and all that. Like that was your chance, bro. That was your chance, but that's neither here nor there. All right, that was the recap of this last weekend. It was fun, exhilarating. This is when the cookie starts to crumble. We're starting to get, real deep. This is where we're running out of time. We got 2 games left. It is Sunday, January 28th at 3 o'clock on CBS. We have the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to Baltimore to play Lamar Jackson's Ravens. I don't want to bet against Patrick Mahomes, and it's so hard for me on this one because I do think the Ravens are unstoppable at this point, but it's Patrick Mahomes.
Yep. I think it's the weather's gonna play a factor. I don't know if it's supposed to rain, but it is supposed to be. It says 49 and cloudy, so
yeah,
we'll see. Man, this is a tough one, very tough one. I could see this game going either way. It's a very, very good matchup. Both defenses are very good. But yeah, I think it's going to come down to Lamar using his legs.
Yeah,
they're going to try to flush him out. They're going to try to put a spy on him, I think, and they're going to try to contain him. But that doesn't always work with Lamar. He's so slippery that he can just bounce at any moment in time, and he's just so electric. I don't know how you contain him. But he's going to have a plan for him. I think that defense, Chiefs defense, has been really good all year. It's going to be a great game. Either way, I think the line is Baltimore is a 3.5-point favorite coming in. I don't know if they cover that 0.5. The hook kind of gets me.
0.5 throws me.
The hook kind of gets me. I think if I'm betting on this game, I'm taking Chiefs +3. Yeah. But yeah, if I have to pick, I'm going Baltimore. Baltimore. It's Lamar's time.
Yep.
As much as we want to sit here and fucking good give Mahomes all the flowers, I think it's time for somebody to knock him down a peg.
Yep. I definitely agree. Oh God, I got to take Baltimore. I have to. If I think about it, and it's 49, cloudy. If there is any wind, really, like even if you take the throwing aspect out of the game and it comes down to, who runs the ball better, you look at this game and there was 2 fumbles on the Chiefs side, right? The
Yes,
Ravens
one went
play
out of the
clean
end
football.
zone.
Yeah, the Ravens play clean football. I think Lamar. It's Lamar's time. Unfortunately, I mean,
Right, and
or fortunately, yeah.
I think this is the game where the receiver, the Kansas City receiving core, I think they're really going to let them down here. I mean, we've
Yeah.
been waiting for it to happen all year. It's happened multiple times throughout the season, and it just seems like big play that you need a catch here. You got to get a first down, and the ball just zips right through somebody's hands.
Yeah.
We've seen it week in and week out. Like you
Yep.
said, the Ravens play really clean football, so they're not really vulnerable.
Yeah.
At any moment. Like the Chiefs have been very vulnerable throughout the
Yep.
season and in various situations, but the Ravens are, like I said, they seem like the more buttoned up team. Plus,
Yeah.
they're getting Mark Andrews back, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's huge.
Huge.
You've got Zay Flowers playing his ass off. You've got Gus Edwards and Justice Hill
Yep.
playing their ass off. So it's going to be a
Isaiah
hell of
Likely's
a
a
game.
dog
But
too.
Isaiah Likely also a dog.
Yep.
OBJ.
Yep.
So Rashad Bateman. So, yeah, I got to go with the Ravens this week.
Yeah, I'm definitely on the Ravens. I'm there. I still think Mahomes and the boys are going to show up and do what they got to do, but I still think it's going to come down to their lack of receiving hands. All right, we have 6:30 p.m. Sunday, January 28th on Fox. The Detroit Lions travel San Francisco to play the 49ers. This spread opens up as San Francisco as a 7-point favorite. That's insane to me. The disrespect if you're the Lions, I feel like. Oof. This is a tough matchup.
That's kind of a big line for this type of game.
Yes.
I think really I have questions about the Lions defense, man. I think that's really what worries me about this game. Their secondary is not always the best. They're not really sure tacklers. I feel like Aiden Hutchinson and Anzalone are both beasts, and you got that Deion Branch guy, who's also a beast. But it seems like they just give up. They're susceptible to the big plays, and I think that Christian McCaffrey, obviously, he's going to be hungry as he is always. He's going to come out and he's just going to pound the rock. He reminds me a lot of Marshawn Lynch and the fact that he gets stronger as the game goes. Like a lot of these backs, they get up around the 12, 15 carry mark, and you see them, they're gassed. McCaffrey, he just keeps getting stronger, and he's going to just keep going downhill, and he's not going to avoid contact. And that really softens the defense up because it's like, damn, I got to tackle this dude again, coming full speed at me, And so I think they're going to use McCaffrey as kind of a battering ram to soften them up, and then they'll use play action like they do. And I mean, I think missing Debo will hurt, but I think they have, they had Jawan Jennings who stepped up real big last game, and obviously Brandon Ayuk is a special talent. And Kittle has been a mainstay all year. So I'm going to go San Francisco here. As much as we all want Detroit to win, and I think Detroit has as good a chance as anybody to pull this upset off. Their offense is absolutely the best offense in the league. It's beautiful. I love the play calling. I think I texted you during that last game, the last Lions game, and I said I would love to see this offense in Atlanta. Just because, I mean, it's perfect. That their run scheme complements their pass scheme. Their play action is beautiful. The route concepts are awesome. It just always seems like the Lions' offense is going to put up 28 points at least. So I'll probably take the over on this game, just because, like I said, the Lions' defense kind of gives me pause, but they're going to find a way to score points, both teams. And I think the Niners ultimately pull away. I don't know. I don't think they cover, though. I think it'll be a field goal or less. Or it'll be 6 or less. It might be 2 field goals. Who knows?
Yeah. It's definitely going to be a good game. And it really hurts me to pick the 49ers, but I feel like I have to just because it's the same
Well, their
idea.
colors are on the Super Bowl logo. Duh.
Yes, and I'm a
And
conspiracy guy. I'm a conspiracy guy, so it's like, what am I supposed to do except for believe everything that I preached all season? I just think the 49ers have too much. The Lions, yes, they are really, really good. And you can be really, really good. You can be great and not make it. It's just the right place, right time. I think the Lions will put up a great game, but the 49ers are going to come correct, and I think the deciding factor is the secondary of the Detroit Lions, like we said. I think Purdy's going to try and shut up the haters. He probably will do it. We're going to have 49ers Ravens Super Bowl. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, it's been trending that way all year. I think we've all, about week 12, 13, 14, we all kind of, was like, well, Niners, Ravens, that could be a matchup to look out for.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say is I think the Niners are still pissed about not making the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah.
And that kind of gives them, that added extra motivation. Not that they need anymore, but I just feel like they're hungry. They feel like they should have been in the Super Bowl last year. Kyle Shanahan's been to 2 Super Bowls already. Yeah. And it just feels like it's I know, like it just feels like they're going to win this game. As much as we want Detroit to win, it would be a great Cinderella story for Detroit. Not making the playoffs or not having a playoff win in 31 years and then go all the way to the Super Bowl. I mean, that would be awesome. But I just don't see the Niners dropping this one any which way you slice it.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. So we've got Ravens and we got 49ers, and we'll see how everything plays out. That is our picks. Is there anything that you feel comfortable locking in?
I'm going to go with that over in the Lions-Niners game. It's 50.5. I think, like I said, I think the Lions scored 25, 28 points, and I think Niners have to break the 30-point mark to win.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I like that. I like that.
The only thing that gives me pause on that is the Niners have an absolute doghouse full of pass rushers. That kind of worries me because Goff is not really the most mobile guy. So they're gonna have to use a quick screen game, to kind of to mitigate that pass rush.
I'm never gonna go against betting the over. I like points in a game. I also like defensive games, but this one I want to be like back and forth banging.
Yeah.
So we'll hope to see that outcome. I think it'll be really fun. I think the Lions cover the 7 points, so I'll stay in that game.
Lions plus 7.
Yeah, I like the Lions to cover, so I'll take that, and we'll ride with that. We'll lock those in. We'll call those our bets of the week. It's not too much we can bet on. We only got 2 games, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy them. Make the most of it. Sit down. Watch the game.
Really take it in, man. Take it in. Appreciate it, because I know we got the UFL or XFL, whatever you want to call it, but it's just not the same, man.
Yep.
Not the same as college and NFL. And it'll be a long time before we get to see, high-level football again. So just fucking appreciate it, man. Yep. Don't take it for granted.
Yep. That's exactly right. Enjoy it. Make the most of it. Now let's talk some new shit. Some shit been trending on the media. Comment J.J. Watt said that has circulated about C.J. Stroud's performance in the wild card round. He said C.J. Stroud's performance was graded a 77.8, and the man Jordan Love, with the exact same stats, this is per PFF, was the highest of the weekend, 92 point whatever. So J.J. Watt said, "This is what happens when you try to grade football players with an algorithm." And it says, and people treat this shit as gospel, quote. And we had this discussion earlier because, where does analytics apply? Granted, we see all these things on the 4th down. They come up every time, and it seems like every time it says, go for it. It doesn't matter. It could be 4th and 508. They're like, yeah, send it. Just go for it. You got it. The numbers say 51%, go for it. And they go for it. But I think And as we've said, when do analytics matter? I don't think it's on the field. It's after. It's not. I think eye test says everything. You look at Jordan Love and you look at C.J. Stroud's performances, and they were graded 20-point, 15-point difference. But you look at the eye test, you say, they both played as elite quarterbacks. So
Right.
I think the only time analytics matters is when you're trying to separate.
It's when you're trying to split hairs.
Yeah, split
when
the hairs. Yeah, exactly. How much am I going to pay this guy? Well, let's look at the upper analytics so I have an argument. You know what I'm saying? That's when it matters.
I've been analytics has become more and more part of the game in all sports, across the board. As we move forward and technology gets better and AI, becomes more prevalent, we have these algorithms that people want to use. But it's like I said when we were texting earlier, analytics is for nerds, not athletes, not coaches. All right. Like you said, it's about the eye test. You play and you coach from your gut. What does your gut and your heart say? What do you see with your eyes? Yeah. Now, is it cool? Is it nice to have something if you're, like you said, if you're trying to make a hard decision, do we go for it? Do we not go for it? Well, it helps to have the support of the analytics on your side. But I also think that is a case by case basis. If your defense is playing lights out, punt that hole down there. Punt them and make them drive the field. You know what I mean? That's what it comes down to. Do you really believe in your defense? Yeah. Whenever you've got the advent of like the tush push and other, kind of gimmicky plays that are pretty much automatic first downs, it's hard to go against the numbers and punt. But like I said, man, I think analytics has kind of taken a step back. It's really divided us as sports consumers or sports fans. It's kind of like divided the room, because that's a big thing between me and like our last guest, Brian. He likes to likes to look at the numbers, which, good on him. Like there's a place for that. But for me, I'm looking straight eye test. What do I see? How do I think how does he react? How does the athlete react on the field? Yeah. How does the defense react on the field? Because, at the end of the day, I know ball. And that's not to sound cocky or anything, but I've just played a lot of sports, and you can tell whenever somebody's off that night or somebody's having a hot night or a hot streak, you can tell. Yeah. And so I think analytics has its place, but it can't be the determining factor. Yeah. You have to go with what you feel out there.
Yeah. I think what a lot of people, and I will call them casuals, because, realistically, that's the mass majority of sports fans is casual. So they see numbers. It's what makes their argument points. But what they don't understand about being, a high level athlete or an athlete of, substance or whatever the word I'm looking for is what goes into it is confidence matters, right. Your mental fortitude matters, and your play or sport IQ matters. Like all of that stuff is factored in, but not factored into numbers, right?
Right. So that doesn't show up on the stat sheet.
Yeah. Take, for example, the Eagles game against the Buccaneers where they go for the 2-point tush push. It probably said go for it, right? The numbers did say go for it. But if you look at the confidence level of where the Eagles have been playing, watching the eye test, seeing where they have been and how hard it was for them to get down the field, you go with your gut there and say, we're probably not getting this. The Bucs
take the points.
Kicking our ass. They have been getting home. Take the points. Take what you can get. But I mean, that's like you said, it's splitting hairs. It's an argument above my head. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna watch guys. If I like him, I think he's good. You watch Jordan Love, he looks good. You watch C.J. Stroud, he looks good. What's the difference between the two? Nothing. They both lost in the same round. That's how I see it.
Exactly. I think, avid fans of the game are going to watch each game and say, hey, man, quarterback played a hell of a game. They just fell short at the end. Yep. Threw a bad ball at the end, and it was picked off. I mean, what can you do?
Yep. And at the end of the day, there is one team that reigns supreme, and everybody else goes to Cancun. So that's the
There's only one parade.
There's only one parade in one city in America, one time a year, ladies and gentlemen. So not everybody gets to be happy. I think that about wraps up pretty much everything we got for this weekend on football.
Yep.
I know that UK basketball played tough yesterday. And nope, we're not even going to talk it
I
because
mean,
they're
I didn't
undeserving.
even get to watch because I was working. I didn't get to
Yeah,
watch, but I checked the score and I talked to some of my buddies who did watch the game, and they said it
yeah,
was just awful. One of the
yeah,
worst games they've seen in the past, 5 years out of Kentucky. So I'm glad I didn't actually. I'm glad I didn't get to watch it because I probably
yeah.
would be fuming. So.
Been pissed off.
But
Yeah,
they did play well against Georgia. I think,
yeah,
at the end of the day, you got to remember these are fucking kids
yeah,
playing ball. So
yeah,
they're still figuring it out. I know it's mid or it's late January, but they still have a whole nother month before March. So,
yeah,
I think we'll get it figured out. We're just young. We've just got to find where our chemistry is. And
yeah,
we just didn't have it last night,
yeah. It's going to happen. Young guys, remember these kids are 18, 19 years old. I think people forget that. As being avid sports fans, same for the these young cats and the professional sports. But I wanted to mention this before we get out of here because we don't have too much to talk about. Obviously, we have a big weekend for football. But one thing did happen today: the 2024 MLB Hall of Fame class was announced, and Adrian Beltre got in 95.1%. Todd Helton got in 79.7%. Joe Mauer got in at 76.1%. You need 75% to get in. There's a lot of names on this list. The ones that just missed, I mean, these are names that are iconic. And I think most of them will make it probably on their second or third ballot. But Billy Wagner just missed at 73.8%. Gary Sheffield at 63.9%. Andrew Jones, 61.6, and then it just falls below 50 moving forward. Carlos Beltran, Alex Rodriguez, Manny Ramirez, Chase Utley, Omar Vizquel, Bobby Abreu, Jimmy Rollins, Andy Pettit, Mark Burley, K-Rod, Torrey Hunter, and David Wright, which David Wright one shocks me a lot. I thought he'd be
Yeah.
up there.
He was really good for a long time, but he really just never won anything.
Yeah. And Andrew
And
Jones is a big one too.
yeah, that was a big one for me.
Yeah.
But like you said, I think a lot of these guys will end up getting in. I think
Yeah.
Alex Rodriguez is probably going to be held out for as long as they can, just because of the steroids or whatever, and all.
Yeah.
Just I hated A-Rod. I don't know how you felt about him, but I thought he was a punk bitch.
If you didn't love A-Rod, you hate him. He's like he is what the Yankees are. It's like you either fucking love the guy or you fucking hate the guy. There is no in
I just
between.
thought he was a punk out there, man.
Yeah.
He
I
just
mean,
did some
when
bush league shit.
him with the Rangers was a different animal, but once he got to New
Yeah.
York, he just turned into a Yankee bitch. And anybody that just embraces New York Yankee baseball, like Garrett Cole, fuck you. Aaron Judge, you're all right. I respect
Fuck
you,
you.
but you're still a bitch. You know what? Uh, I do think it. I mean, Alex Rodriguez got 34.8%. I think the average it goes up is about 10%. Even at that rate, he's only making it to by his third ballot at 55%. I think Beltran's another one. He's at 57.1%, but he had his cheating allegations with
Yeah.
being the coaching of the Astros. Gary Sheffield will get in probably second ballot. I'd say
Jimmy
Beltran probably.
Rollins.
Yep, Jimmy Rollins, Chase Utley will probably be about third ballot
This is making
guys.
me feel old, dude. These are all the guys that I
These are
played MVP baseball to EA
Yep.
Sports with.
This is my childhood right here. If you guys don't know that, this is MVP baseball 2005. Literally, I think Beltre is big deserving. Todd Helton, I thought, was going to fall short because of the Colorado Rockies elevated
Right.
atmosphere ballpark aspect, but I mean, he was the first base staple for the Rockies for
For years.
so long. And then Joe Mauer, probably one of the greatest hitting catchers of all time. So
Yeah.
he definitely, what I think baseball does right at least is like, can you tell the story of baseball without saying their name? And if we're go by team to team, or stat numbers, whatever you got to do, like analytics is a baseball thing, right? I think it
Right.
is
Yeah.
big. If you're going through the numbers, it's like you're gonna see these guys' name pop up. So I think it's they got it right with who they got on their first ballot. I'll give him that. Wagner probably should have snuck in, I think, but he'll get it on
Yeah.
the second round. And one of the most dominant runs is a left-handed closer there is. But that's all I've really got on baseball. I'm excited for what's coming. The Reds have made a lot of moves, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm excited for this weekend, bro.
Me too. Not to get too much into the weeds here, but did you see where the Milwaukee Bucks fired their coach?
And then hired Doc
They have a
Rivers.
30. They had like a 30-13 record and they're second in the East, and they fired their coach.
Yeah.
And I guess the reason why they did is because Giannis and their former coach didn't get along.
Yeah.
Didn't vibe, and so they fired him and hired Doc Rivers, who is a known choke artist.
Yep.
Like, we know he's a choke artist.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't understand. If you're going to let your stars run the organization, just fucking let them run the organization. Just give them make them the head coach, make him the GM, let Giannis make all the fucking moves. Who cares? He's going to keep a roster spot for his brother, who's absolutely trash, who can't even make a fucking layup. And yet you're going to fire the coach who has you second place in the conference and hire a guy who know it gives up 3-1 leads like it's fucking candy on Halloween. Like, I don't get the NBA, man. I'm not a big NBA guy. I used to be, back when it was actually fun to watch. But now, man, outside of, like, you know, the playoffs and the finals, I don't give a shit what goes on in the NBA, because it's all a clown show.
Yeah.
It's all a clown show. And they're and this is where, like I said, I'm trying not to get too far into the weeds, because we're sitting at 55 minutes here. But this is the last thing I'll say. You can tell that these guys are in on this betting shit, because, once they get to a certain number, it's like they stop trying. It's like, I've got my over-under tonight was 28. I've got 27. Let me get one more bucket, and then I'll quit playing, or I won't hit another shot because I took the under, or whatever. And it's like, it's always something, and it's so easy. Prime example. This funny story. I'll end with this.
Yeah. Me
and my family are sitting there. Like, my whole mom's side of the family are huge UK fans. And really, it's just me, my mom, my Aunt Heather, and my granddad we're like the biggest, UK fans of the family. And we're sitting there, and UK's up 26 against Georgia, right? With like 8 minutes to go. And so we're sitting there, and here we go. Here's a foul for Georgia. Free throws for Georgia. Foul. Free throws for Georgia. No call on the other end, UK. No call on the other end, UK. 3 missed calls in a row. Then another free throws for Georgia. All of a sudden, it's a 13-point game. Guess what? The line at tip-off was 13.5. And I looked at him. I said, I guarantee you. They were talking about how did we give up such a huge lead? We should have won by 30. I said, I guarantee you somebody has money on this game.
Yeah.
I said, look at the way it was officiated the last 5 minutes of the game. How many free throws did Georgia get? How many no calls were there on Kentucky? They had to get this game back down into 13, 11, 13, 15, 13, 11, back and forth, and ended up closing at 9. The Cats won by 9. But it's just obvious. They're up 26. They've been dominating the whole game, and all of a sudden, here comes 8 fouls in a row. It's like, okay, like, we all know you got money on it, dude.
Yeah. Basketball is probably, I would say, if sports were rigged with the betting stuff, I'd say basketball is the most easily rigged, because you can literally send a guy to the line to get points. Like, in football, you can't send them, you can't foul somebody and be like, all right, here's a field goal. Kick a field goal.
Right.
Baseball, you can't be like, all right, here's a point, or here's a free pitch, hit a home run, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I would think, I don't want to be the guy that fully gives in, but gosh darn, I'm riding
it's
the
so
line
obvious.
to being
It's so obvious
believer.
in basketball.
It's insane. God. If you're betting on NBA sports, you're getting robbed, motherfuckers. I'm telling you that. Or you need to figure out what their game plan is. Aside from that, Murph, dude, I ain't got too much. I think I really just wanted to dive into the NFL stuff. I think we covered everything that we wanted to talk about. I did want to mention numbers doing good. I appreciate everybody that has been listening, putting things out there. do us a favor. Obviously, share. That goes the longest way. Word of mouth, word of social media goes the longest way. Did create a Discord today for all the gaming community out there. I think it would be good for us to branch into things that we like to do. And obviously, we both play video games. So to have an avenue for us to go into that, I'm going to start working. I might as well just turn the Twitch on, record gameplay, and if something cool happens, fucking put it in there.
Clip
And
it.
encourage everybody else to do the same. Just give everybody a voice, and then obviously off of that, you can always
What
promote
are some games you're into right now at the moment?
I've been playing a fuck ton of Rocket League.
See, I never could get into that. I don't know.
I couldn't either.
Maybe I just haven't got it.
Yeah, that's how it is. You have to. I never played Rocket League for the 12 seasons or whatever they had, and then I started playing it, and now I can't fucking stop, even though it pisses me off. Like
Yeah.
I'm playing tournaments and being competitive. Like it's fun once you understand the game and like learn things. I like it a lot.
I'm real heavy into Call of Duty ranked right now, which
Yeah.
I was last on the last game too, but
Yeah.
it just dropped this month, so there's going to be several seasons of it, and I mean it's decent right now. There's a lot of sweats on just because it's new and fresh, but yeah, I've been into Call of Duty, played a little bit of Warzone, a little bit of Resurgence. So if you like gaming, man, for sure join the Discord and we'll party up and get some games in or something.
Yeah, I'm always looking for. I need a third in Rocket League. Kayla's my 2, and we're pretty good 1-2, but we're always get paired with a damn monkey with a.
Maybe
controller.
I'll start playing.
And we need somebody. I'm like, Kayla chases the ball, and I'm trying to play goalie, and it's just like it. I need a third so bad.
I feel you.
She's gotten. I will give her hats off. I got at the beginning when we first started playing, she couldn't get the car like off the ceiling, and now she holds her own. She's pretty good.
She's learning.
Yeah, she's coming a long way. All right, ladies and gentlemen, with that, we appreciate you. We love you. Tell your grandma about us. Bake her or have her bake us some cookies. But aside from that,
Peace.